we can do that. I don't.
Yeah. Well, by starting early, that's what you're doing. You're
Right. Right.
Director's cut, man. Criterion Collection, right there.
Director's cut. Sure.
Yep.
Whatever.
So welcome everyone to Hit or Miss. Your host Night Strike, and yeah, hey, we're starting a little early tonight because fuck it, we'll do it live. But I got a motley crew of panelists this evening, so I'm gonna go through the room, see who's here, see who's not. So first up, we've got everyone's favorite Gizzard Gary. What's going on, Gary?
Well, I don't know if I'd qualify as a motley crew with this short hair. Definitely not. But
well, sometimes you wear that hat with the "shall not be infringed" patch on it.
You look like a nicely marinated and aged Vince Neil, is what you look like. So there you go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for showing up.
You bet.
I appreciate it. All right. Next up, we've got everyone's favorite disagreeable panelist. We have Rich White. What's going on, Rich?
Nothing.
He's like, I ain't got no tagline.
No, that's gun snob. Jeez.
But you're like the Eeyore of guns.
If you say so. I don't know. Whatever.
You sound a little bit like Eeyore. Not that it's a bad thing. You kind of got that.
Oh, I can do an Eeyore impression. I've done it before on other people's shows. I used to do it for my kids. Like my oldest daughter was really into Winnie the Pooh, and I would like do different Winnie the Pooh voices. And the one she really liked was when I would do Eeyore.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. All right. And then we are being detained for the next hour this evening because we have C4 Defense. Sarge, what's going on?
Oh, nothing. I'm trying to share your show right now on trying to get it out there, showing that we're going to be over here. No, nothing going on. I'm off this week, so I'm enjoying myself.
Nice.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Right, we've got a latecomer who's jumping in at the last minute. We got David Bolin. What's going on, David?
How's it going, gentlemen? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem. Anytime. And last but not least, we have everyone's favorite, Smexitute co-host. We've got Travis P11.
Hey, man. Appreciate the invite. Thank you very much. I'm just enjoying this table full of freedom and dirty guns here that we have going on. But anyway, guys, check out Caliber Corner Thursday nights from 5 to 7 Central Time, 6 to 8 East Coast Time over on gunchannels.com. You can also find me on guntube.org and channels Travis P11 on YouTube. Thanks for the invite, man.
Awesome. So, tonight, what are we talking about? Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole bump stock situation, because we all know that pretty much everybody who's filed an injunction has been denied because the government and the deep state, at least that's what they're saying. But apparently the government can't get away from the fact that bump stock owners want compensation for destroyed items, because the worst part about the bump stock ban, at least in some people's minds, isn't that the ban infringes on our Second Amendment rights, but that it also deprives owners of property without due process or compensation for that property. It created potential criminals with nothing more than a stroke of the pen.
Mm-hmm.
Now a lawsuit has been filed seeking to get compensation for those who have been deprived of their bump stocks. While federal courts have upheld the Trump administration's ban on bump stocks, gun rights advocates are vowing to press forward in a separate legal battle to try and force the government to at least compensate them for their surrendered or destroyed property. One of the co-founders of Texas-based firearms company RW Arms, which destroyed more than 70,000 bump stocks ahead of the effective date of the ban last month, said the company took an estimated hit of $20 million in the process, because they're saying that they're going for the full retail price, not like what they were selling for. They're going for full MSRP on these things.
Well, they were probably selling for more towards the end of it too. They were probably going way above retail price, right?
Towards the end, I was considering buying one for $139. That's how much they were going for.
Well, is there precedent for something like this? Like, has there ever been a company forced to destroy their property and then sued the government and won?
No, but I don't think something of this magnitude has ever happened before in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, has there ever been an example of something like this that's happened before?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm not a lawyer.
Where things just became illegal, not restricted, but just all of a sudden illegal.
Prohibition.
Like fairly soon, like in a fairly short time frame. Like they couldn't have stopped producing these things a year or two ago because they knew that they were going to become legal. They'd been producing them, and they've been buying them in that warehouse, and all of a sudden, oh well, they're legal.
Prohibition was different because they instead of going and making a law, arbitrarily, they added an amendment onto the Constitution to ban alcohol, and the only way they could fix it was by adding another amendment right after that one, saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, don't listen to that other amendment."
And alcohol wasn't banned outright through prohibition anyway.
Well, it was illegal to manufacture and not drink. That's what people don't get. It was illegal to manufacture and sell, but you could still drink it if you had it. That wasn't the illegal part. But there were companies that did, to get to Gary's point, that did attempt to sue the federal government over prohibition because of lost income and whatnot, and they all failed.
Yeah, see, that's what.
Yeah, but it wasn't as fast as this though.
If you could go back and find somewhere where it happened before and they had some success, you could try to use that argument. But then the problem that you would have is, the bleeding hearts would come out and be like, well, those baseball caps weren't killing people and bump stocks do, so that'd be a big hurdle they still have to get over is the emotional part of it.
Bump stock may or may not have been used in one incident that I know of. One.
Yeah, I know, but the people who don't know any better think, oh my gosh, you just turned your gun into a machine gun and it's dangerous and scary.
And then you retort, well, if the government makes all couches in homes illegal, then the government should compensate you for making those couches illegal.
Yeah, Drusifer brings up another example when Nissan imported the Skylines from Japan, and the government said, nope, you can't bring those in, and they were forced to crush them. They never received compensation from the government for being forced to crush those cars either.
Well, hold on a second, though, because those cars did meet the 25-year import rule, though. The cars, and when they come into the port, if they're not designated for track use or they're not designated for it's either track or that's it. It's track or crusher. It's basically until they became legal. But yeah, there was the one company in California that imported the Skylines and they did legalize them, but then they kind of took the liberties of doing different models and claiming it was the same as the original. And that's what cost people those cars, or that's what cost them their business. Motorex is what the company was called.
Yeah. But that's just another point where somebody was forced to destroy something without being compensated for it.
Well, but again, that has a that was a set law that said you can't because of the,
I know, I get all that, but it's still
the real thing about this whole situation, and just the bump stocks. Throw everything out that's happened in the past with other things out the window, because we're just talking about the bump stock situation with RW Arms. Okay?
In this situation,
in this situation, we're going to ignore those other points.
You can't. From a legal perspective, you can't because
we have to move on and we have to get to the rest of this article. So shut the fuck up.
We have to move on. It's 2 minutes after 9 and we're already behind.
We're already behind.
And we
2 minutes after 8.
And it's all Rich's fault. Everyone, turn your head to the right, point at Rich, and shake your head. Because it's all his fault.
Isn't it turn your head to the right and cough?
Well, if you want to. But
this is David's fault. He's the one who brought up this part.
The point is,
don't pass the buck to me, man.
The point is, Rich, I'm talking to you, Rich, is it's not about past situations. It's about government overreach. Okay?
If the government precedent of where it's been done before.
Well, regardless, the government is overreaching on this because they're banning something outright, literally overnight, and then they're telling people, well, you got to turn them in and destroy them. But hey, that money that those people paid out for that stuff had to come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
taking money
okay.
away from the American citizen, it's actually against the law. Believe it or not.
Here's the question I have then. What is going to be the legal justification for not compensating people of their property? What can they say? What can they possibly
Well,
use or do? I'm just curious.
What of the penalty for violating the Fifth Amendment is?
That's not the
Because-
Fifth Amendment. That's the Fourth Amendment.
No, I'm saying, what is the government's defense going to be if this doesn't rule in the favor of the bump stock owner?
No.
It would be the court, whether they
They're-
would.
They're
view it.
citing the Fifth
yeah.
Amendment as this one.
The government would say, "Hey, we win," and it depends on what the court says. Should be compensated
Yeah.
because a lot of people bought a product that was perfectly legal, even if they didn't buy it if you bought it at the end, you were gambling. That was
Now
your own fault.
it's regardless of whether the government only pays a fraction of what
know.
they're worth or if they pay the full
Yeah.
price. It doesn't matter. They still have to compensate somebody
agree.
something.
I agree with you. I'm saying if you bought one at the end, you were gambling, and that's your own fault to a degree. But the people that had them for years and had them for a long time, yes,
Yeah.
I fully agree. You all should be compensated. But at the end, you knew what you're getting into, and it's a chance you should have been willing to take. But the people that had them forever, yes, they should be compensated, whatever a fair value is.
Okay, Rich, it is the Fifth Amendment. Okay.
No, the Fifth Amendment
No,
is self-determination. Fourth
Yes.
Amendment is seizing property without compensation and due process, not the
No.
Fifth.
It's the
Yes.
Fifth. I'm looking at it right here, numbnuts.
Post it.
What you're looking at?
Post it.
Listen. The
Post
Fifth
it.
Amendment. Okay,
Post it.
I'm posting it right now.
Post
I'm
it.
posting it right now.
Is
Post it.
the Fifth Amendment?
Side chat.
legal?
Go ahead and look it up. It
It-
says right here, no person shall be hold on, listen to the whole damn thing. Shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in the cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in the actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. No, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without
And read
due
the
process
Fourth
of the law,
Amendment.
nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
Look, those last
Pretty
three
much says it right there.
those last three parts is what covers in this article. You can't turn your bump stock in and then willingly and then have them arrest
It's not
you for
willing.
having an illegal item. Well, no, if they say, hey, it's time to turn in your bump stock and you willingly walk up and turn it in, they can't slap cuffs on you for owning an illegal product, which they did
Yes.
with the marijuana stamp back in the day. Then the other two parts about seizing private property without compensation is where the Fifth Amendment falls in.
And the Fourth Amendment also applies because that's the one that goes with seizing the product.
But he was talking about compensation.
We're not talking about seizing,
Yeah, and they're
Rich. We're
not
talking
seizing.
about
It would be fair.
compensation, and it's the Fifth Amendment in this case, and
Mark
that's
it
what they're
down.
banking. They're banking on that last part because remember, a bunch of the Fifth Amendment isn't just specifically. They do break it up, so that
Mark it
part
down.
does count.
Tuesday, April 23rd. Night Strike was right about something.
I guess the question is, who the hell uses the word numbnuts anymore? I haven't heard that since like my grandpa was, That's the
Well,
big question.
Well, he's from West Virginia. I had to use a term that he. doesn't.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay. I'm just saying
Night
that's,
Strike's been watching
numbnuts.
a
Man, I'm
lot
gonna start.
of-
That's up
No.
there with like stud muffin or
Yeah,
stuff you haven't heard
Night
since
Strike's
like
been watching a lot of
93. Yeah.
He's not pretty enough for stud muffin.
Oh, okay.
Peckerhead.
I'm trying to bring back G. Willikers.
Gee Willikers. Gee Willikers.
There's Batman.
Make it hot.
We've seen Rich
That's my
on Rich
favorite
on
one.
Stop
camera.
joshing me. Stop joshing me.
I like when they say rats.
Oh,
Yeah,
rats.
rats is a good one.
Rats.
There you go. Numbnuts. I'm gonna use that tomorrow.
Son of a buck.
Oh, rats, you numbnuts.
Darn it.
Lead
Here we
Life is
go.
saying bump stocks were not taken for public use. Well, they were banned. So
So, do you think this company has a pretty good? You said it's a company that's suing, right?
yeah, it's RW Arms.
So, do you think they have a good chance of winning? I mean, what does it matter what circuit of court this is going to be going in that has
it
to
depends on
affect
if the circuit of court that Texas is in decides whether or not they have a case.
Yeah.
And at that, I'm going to look at Sarge because Sarge knows the courts better than I do.
What are we talking about?
Whether they have a case or not.
Yeah.
Well, I don't work in court. I do the other stuff, but it sounds like they have a very valid complaint. A very valid complaint. Something you had that was legal. You were ordered to turn it in or face prosecution. Should be compensated for it. Now, how much? I don't know. Are they going to say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? I don't know how many dollars they're going to rule that they should be compensated, but they have to be compensated something. And man, it's going to cost a chunk of change when you do that stuff, because no matter what it is, multiply it out by how many people turn them in, adds up. So
now I get, this is just for argument's sake, really, but would it be any better if it wasn't a turn them in or you get a felony or a criminal record or whatever, but you just can't buy them anymore? They banned them. You can't make them anymore. The companies had to destroy the ones they had on the shelves. But if John Q. Public still had one, he could keep it.
See, that would have been
make it any
way better.
better?
That would have been way better. Niger, we're not going to make any more of these. So that would be fine. Now, the company would have a valid argument, but everybody in the U.S. wouldn't have an argument if you were allowed to keep what you had. You should just find one before the ban went in, and that's that.
Yep.
Well, let's hope it rules in everyone's favor. I mean, but then again, it's going to be up to you to prove that you had one if you destroyed one. Or if you turn one in and got no receipt, no proof of purchase, if you don't have your box anymore, it's how many of us really keep boxes for accessories that we buy for firearms? I mean, I might keep mine for a while, but I don't hold on to them for very long.
I've got receipts. I never delete an email.
Yeah, if you have like a confirmation, any kind of proof of ownership, that'd be the one thing that they would ask for. Is you got to prove that you had one before you give you the money for it. Oh man, I mean, so many people wouldn't even have the receipts; they wouldn't even be able to take advantage of it. But I mean, it's definitely a step in the right direction for making it right, according to what the Constitution says that is supposed to be done. All right, Nicer, do you want to talk about that 2A fund or that challenge that you put up for me?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But you said you had a topic you want to talk about.
Oh yeah, the one to bring up here. Sorry, I'm cleaning guns over here. Recently, I guess there's been an increase of schools that are basically going after kids that are posting pictures of themselves with guns, whether it be hunting with the family or target practice in a non-threatening manner. Legally using the firearms as they're allowed to. And the schools are going after kids, and I'd love to know their justification for it or what their policy is or how they can even do this when the kids are posting this to their private streams on Facebook, when they're doing Snapchat photos of their friends. They're not public statements that are being made. And as a teacher, this really bothers me because unless these pictures are causing some sort of trauma, there really is no basis or case that the schools can defend themselves on.
Okay. Can I address one part of that?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I disagree with any discipline because of them if they're legal. But anytime you hit send, when you send something on the internet, you've lost a lot of control of it. It might as well be public.
Yeah. Well, it's just the nature of the photographs. If they're not breaking any law, I
100% agree with.
Yeah.
It's not private if you put it on Facebook. It's not private if you email it. If you text it to someone, it's not private anymore. If you just hold it up and show it to them, hey, now that is private. But if you send it to them, you've given them a copy of it, and you're only hoping they don't do anything with it. But no, I disagree with any discipline because of it participating in a legal sport. I disagree with that aspect.
And I mean, people do need to understand that. You always say, well, kids should be able to do this, kids should be able to do that. But I mean, when it interrupts the instruction at school, when something happens, that's a lot of times how schools are able to justify being able to restrict students' rights of speech and communication. And I'm not for it at all, but I'm just saying that's how they're able to do it. These have gone through, Supreme Court rulings and things like that.
Well,
where kids have done stuff that's interrupted the school day, essentially. Yeah.
The harm that's going to be caused is, and I don't believe this, but the emotional harm. When I saw little Johnny's picture of him at the range with a shotgun, that put me in fear. And now I'm in fear that little Johnny might come to school with that shotgun and shoot me with it.
Well, that's not a justified fear.
Right, I know that, but hate speech isn't a real thing either, but people still get busted for that.
Well, hate speech is a real thing, but that's not an issue. This is someone participating in illegal activity outside of the school,
right?
Which, if it has nothing to do with the school, and it's not, the school's not brought into it in any way, shape, or form. These are still people. These kids are still kids. They still exist. If they went to another school, that school wouldn't still have control over them. They're still people. So,
I totally understand that. And I think it's a bogus thing, but in the culture that we live in with this type of climate where anything can be construed as emotionally harmful, you can see where the people are going to make those arguments. I think it's totally bogus. You should absolutely be able to post what you want to post and have fun doing, legal, fun, safe, cool stuff. But somebody's going to get triggered over that picture, and that's where the snowball is going to start rolling down the hill.
But in that case, anything anyone ever does will trigger someone.
That's where we are right now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But no. I mean, everything that comes on, everything on YouTube pisses someone off. Everything, whether it's someone doing their nails or someone doing their hair, pisses someone off. So, if that was the case, nothing would be on anywhere.
Well, no, I totally agree with that.
Blank.
That's why I think we need this to put a stop to this type of stuff now. But that's definitely where it could go.
Yeah, that's why they need to. It has to be a justified outrage, or it has to be a justified fear. Just because someone has something doesn't mean they're going to do anything crazy with it.
It's one thing if it's drugs and alcohol. It's one thing if they're doing something outright threatening another person with some sort of bodily harm.
Or if I bought a Ferrari, that doesn't mean that I'm going to go drive 200 miles an hour on the interstate.
Yeah,
has nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
saying that someone's skeet shooting on the weekend is the complete total opposite of someone going to come there and murder someone or murder multiple people just because you enjoy shooting clay pigeons. So that shouldn't be justified in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, even I think as a teacher myself, I think that's ridiculous. And yes, I'm a pro 2A guy, but it gets to a point where, like David was saying, anything can be seen as being triggering or traumatic, and it's crazy anymore. I don't know. It's a little bit scary, actually.
It is.
But I mean, this kind of thing has been happening for quite a while now. But I guess there's been some recent articles about some kids that have been, it's been happening to kids. And when stuff like that happens to kids, when kids get suspended or they get kicked out of school, I mean, the harm it does to their grades, their GPAs, potentials for scholarships and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff can just basically go down the toilet. So it can potentially ruin a kid's life, even though they didn't actually break any laws.
Or rules, or
or
code of conduct, or anything.
Yeah.
That's the sad part of it, when someone does everything completely correct and then still gets in trouble for nothing.
Yeah. So, Sarge, the question I got for you is: do you ever worry about that with your own children? Because I mean, you have featured in videos before, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, do you have any fear at all for somebody getting triggered up at school, or this kind of thing could happen to your own kids? Or, I mean, I know that the environment, the culture, the school district, the state, the county, that all has a huge impact over an interpretation of,
Both of our high schools have shooting teams.
Yeah.
And sportsmen's clubs.
Yeah.
So I'm not terribly concerned about it. If I was a couple counties away, I would be concerned about it, because it's a much more liberal, left-leaning area just a little ways from here. And it might really be a problem over there. Here, it's taken the way it should be, because I won't let them do anything silly or anything like that. Mm-hmm. They have to do everything correctly if they're going to be with me on any of my videos. So
Oh yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I don't worry about it. Not here, but other places, right or wrong, I could see it being a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. I put it in the side chat, but you must be on your phone or something.
Oh, I'm cleaning gun parts.
I know. Was that a long slide?
Yeah,
Glock
yeah,
with an
that's
RMR?
I got it back upstairs. That's the G40 Gen 4 with the Trijicon RMR.
A G40?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, Almighty. Like Canon.
It was fun to shoot. I had a good time with it. I ran 4 different kinds of ammo through it and took it out to the range and played around with it a little bit. I was finally getting used to that RMR by the end of the end of the session out there. I didn't like it initially, but it is an adjustment.
Yeah, I wanted one. I've got 3 of them. Well, I've got 3 long slides. 2 of them have RMRs on them. I've got a 34, a 35, and a 41. Well, the 41 is a 45. That's the first one that I got. And yeah, I was excited. I saved my money, got this thing. I mean, I wanted it for like 6 months before I got it. And then you start shooting it and you're like, this isn't quite as awesome as I thought, but you get used to it and you start figuring it out.
Well, the one advantage, I mean, just me being a new user with those reflex sights and stuff on a pistol is that you don't, in my opinion, you don't have to try as hard to just hit a plate.
No,
you don't have to focus. And that's how I could definitely see your speed increasing, but your accuracy, you could be just as accurate, but I could see it maybe decreasing for a while until you really get good with it. But they're very accurate. If you take your time to zero them and really practice
extremely
with them,
accurate.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. I mean, I shot better with that than I've shot with field sights on a lot of pistols that I've test fired on the channel.
Well, I've gone to qualifying and I took my 34 with the red dot just to show everybody and let them try it out. And I shoot pretty well anyway when I qualify, but my group shrunk by 50%. I didn't get better.
Yeah.
I didn't get better. That shows what the equipment was doing.
And what's weird about it is you shoot and you're like, oh God, that was terrible. And you go up and look at your target, like, how did I do that? It's a weird feeling when you shoot with those things.
They'll make a bad shooter good and a good shooter great.
one complaint about the 40, it's very front heavy, and I'm not used to that in a pistol just because there's so much more barrel and weight up on the front of that thing. And the grip doesn't really, I mean, the grip is big enough, but I almost felt like it was a little bit almost too kind of compact to really get a good grip on it. I mean, you really have to remember to keep the nose up on that thing when you're shooting it, just because it's got so much weight up on the front. I don't usually shoot guns with like a 6-inch plus barrel.
I say it's a full 6-inch barrel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got some weight to it.
The really wide slide. It's the only. All the other long slides are the regular width. That's the wide one.
Yeah, recoil, I mean, it felt like a 40. I mean, it should, by all rights, almost feel like a 40, but it was not punishing at all to shoot. I had a Gen 2 G20. That was the first handgun I ever bought, and I thought that was a lot harder to shoot back in the day than this was. Yep. Good stuff.
All right, Night we're done.
Yeah. Sorry, man. We had to kind of geek out on Glock goodness there. Good thing Ellis was here.
That's fine. That's fine. I was being quiet because I don't like Glocks. Even though Chuck Norris is now the spokesman,
you can drop them and no danger of them going off.
Well, I can drop my G20 with no danger of going off because it's got the fix.
Oh no, he didn't.
You can clean it without any threat of having to go to the ER.
Ooh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's good. All right, but we got any other topics tonight? I'm looking. We were going to talk about the 2A challenge, the 2A Fun Spring Challenge. So I'm going to screen share 2afun.com real quick.
Fun with guns.
Okay. 2afun.com. This is the project that Artisan Tony of YouTube fame is working on now. Instead of giving away the cricket rifles, in which he's had varying levels of success with that. But he started 2afun.com, and it seems to be doing a lot better. The spring challenge is, where is it? He's got a thing right here. It's right here. All right. The 2A spring challenge is you print out this target, you take it to the range. It's 21 feet, 2 5-round magazines, 10 shots, 20 seconds. And you try and get as well as you can on that target. And yeah, we'll see how that works. Now
Sorry.
Whoa.
I've got a video that I'm doing. So patrons, check that out probably tomorrow or later this evening, because I'm quietly editing the video right now as we're doing Hit or Miss tonight. So once that video is done, I'll upload that to YouTube and I'll put that out for the Patreons, and I will send the link in for my entry. I will let you know right now. Spoiler alert: I didn't use the P320, so you figure out which gun I used. No, I didn't lose any blood.
AR pistol.
Spoiler alert: you are a much better shot than people should realize you are now. So maybe they'll back off, right?
No.
Yeah, you shot good. You shot it good, from what I saw. You're right, man. It's all right. Could have been a lot
At
worse.
least I hit the piece of paper.
Exactly, and that's all that matters.
So if they were standing right in front of me, they wouldn't be living. I got enough shots on target for them to not be around. But anyways, if you can, I would urge any of you guys that do any sort of shooting videos, go out, take the 2A spring challenge, because there is a reward for the winner of the challenge. It's $100. $100 is the reward for whoever gets picked. So go out and do a video, post it on YouTube, let everybody know. Remember, if you do a video, you got to send it to. I believe it says here on the target. It says send video links to Tony at 2afun.com, and yeah, check it out. I did one this evening, because I had to wait because it was 84 degrees out today, sweltering. I had to wait until the evening to do it, but I got good video, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for that. So check that out, and let's keep it going. We still got about half an hour left, so let's come up with some topics. So, Sarge has one printed out. He's ready to do it.
Ooh, here we go.
Ooh.
So, good job, Sarge.
I know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I got to do that, and I got to do Budget's challenge.
Budget's got a challenge too? Christ.
Yes. He
Doesn't
did it on
Adam Jimenez
Instagram.
have one as well?
Who?
Adam Jimenez,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
he's
one
got
you can sit
the-
down
he's
in front of the
got the
computer.
the 2A
Yeah.
challenge, wherever it is.
Yeah.
Which,
So-
by the way, shout out to Ghost Tactical, man. He gave an awesome response, a really good response on that one. That was, I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch his response yet. There's some good ones going up. It'll be interesting to see if any of the bigger channels actually do it. Because I know
AC97,
that,
did you lose any blood memory? I don't believe in blood memory, so no, I didn't.
Oh, good Lord. That's that stupid thing the white supremacists trying to pull, right?
I don't believe in any of that shit, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a white
That's what it was.
supremacist.
Isn't that what they were talking about on Match Show about that or something?
apparently.
I know, I was there for it. I wasn't
Who
in the
knows?
chat, but I was there for it.
Yeah, a bunch of nonsense.
People who are feel superior to everyone else.
Alrighty.
Rich, we can't keep a conversation with your daughters or your wife.
Oh, you're just mad because my wife made you look silly the other night.
No, she did not.
Oh. All right, so what
Well,
happened? Do tell. Do tell. We gotta get all
No,
the juicy details.
no. We're done. We're done on that one.
As I pointed out, he apparently doesn't mind being called crazy.
Say what?
I don't know. I didn't catch what she said myself.
The whole native California thing, and the fact he took offense for saying he wasn't that old, but didn't take offense at being called crazy.
Whatever.
I'm about as lost as you guys are because I don't remember what she's talking about.
Yeah, neither do I. So let's look in the news, see if there's anything interesting to talk about. Okay, here's something interesting. Okay, GOP lawmakers' bill would protect medical pot users' gun rights. And this is interesting. Okay, because we've got a few people in California that are on gun channels that actually have a medical license for for marijuana because it's legal in the state. But they also own firearms. And unfortunately, if you look at the 4473, it bars you from firearm ownership because you're a user in a state where it's legal of said substances. So, it's one of those areas.
Maryland tried to pass a law to make it easier for marijuana license holders to get firearms, which I think is kind of funny.
I have nothing to get against marijuana. It really doesn't do hardly any damage that alcohol wouldn't do already. Okay, does about the same amount of damage. Okay,
No,
granted, alcohol will damage your liver more so than marijuana will damage your lungs. But again, it's a harmless substance if taken in moderation. Okay.
I just think it's funny that the people that Maryland want to help get guns are people who smoke weed. You figure it'd be the opposite.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's still not as bad as Portland, Oregon, who wants to put pot smoking members of Antifa on the police department.
Yeah, right.
Did you see what was it? San Diego. I'm pretty sure it was San Diego that they want to take the American flag off the police department cars because it's what is the term that they use? What'd you say, Rich?
It wasn't San Diego, but it was an area. It was another town in that area.
They were saying that it was
like
scaring people and it was threatening. That's what it was. It was threatening to have the American flag on police cars.
Yeah. Oh, it's racist. I mean, come on.
Right.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Don't you know putting the American flag on things is racist anymore?
I can't
When did
even
that happen?
fathom how.
It's California.
All right. So
Oh my
listen to
God.
this. A Republican lawmaker has proposed legislation that would help square the Second Amendment with some who use marijuana in accordance with state laws. Okay? The measure H.R. 2071 was introduced in the House earlier this month by U.S. Representative Alexander Mooney, the West Virginia Congressman's Second Amendment Protection Act, which would amend current law that often puts legal guns out of the reach of those who use increasingly legal marijuana. I don't know. Okay, but that's how they worded it. Mooney's bill would make an exception in federal law that individuals shall not be treated as an unlawful user of or addicted to any controlled substance based on the individual using marijuana for medical purpose in accordance with state law. So we'll see how Congress reacts to this. But again, it's a step in the right direction because at least look at it from my perspective. I see it as more pro-gun legislation. Maybe it's not the pro-gun legislation that we want, but it's another step towards, more guns for everyone. Okay?
Yeah, you have a legit point there.
I mean, no, I don't have anything against the pot guys. I used to, when I was in high school, I hung out with guys that smoked pot. Okay, I didn't smoke it myself. I tried it once. I didn't like it. Okay,
You didn't inhale?
No, I inhaled. It just did nothing for me. So I just stuck with regular cigarettes because that worked. But again, I didn't think of anybody any less for using marijuana just because they wanted to use marijuana. I just told them, guys, if you're going to use marijuana, just don't do anything wrong. Just do it at home or something. And most of the time they did. They weren't bad people. So I don't see a problem with allowing people who use it just for medical purposes, not being able to exercise their Second Amendment. I see nothing wrong with that.
Well, if you think the spirit of the legislation is in the right place, because if you have a medical marijuana patient, now I'm talking strictly by the book, they're actually a patient and they use marijuana as medicine, you shouldn't be able to restrict their use, just like you can't restrict their use if they're, taking pain pills or whatever. for medical purposes. But the
In
fact
some cases, because you have a damaged nerve or you have a bad back and you can't get surgery for it. You know, in most cases, you're prescribed pain medication, and if that pain medication doesn't work, in some states, you know, medical marijuana is used to basically, you know, substitute that pain medicine.
well, that's what I'm saying. If it is medicine, then yes. But 99% of the people that smoke weed on a medical marijuana card are recreational users.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. They're the ones that are ruining it for the rest.
And
I don't know if it's 99, but it's a high percentage.
It's very.
That's
just
just
like,
it. But
I feel nervous sometimes. Let me have a weed card.
I don't
does
see,
everybody
I don't
else.
see the issue with allowing, you know, medical marijuana for those that have a prescription to be allowed to use firearms, to have firearms. I don't see the reason to segregate the marijuana people from the, you know, amendment people. Okay?
It's because there's federal law prohibiting someone from possessing firearms while impaired on an impairing substance. There's federal law against that.
Yeah, but
That's
Sarge,
probably the basis for it.
Sarge,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's probably the basis.
Argue what you will, but every once in a while you do drink, at least once in the blue moon, right?
And you don't carry a firearm while you do.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
But alcohol breaks down at a remarkably quicker rate than marijuana does. Alcohol breaks down by the hour and it's out of your system. Marijuana takes 2 weeks minimum because it's fat soluble, where alcohol is water soluble. So it is slightly different.
True, it is different. But again, if it's being used for you know as an alternative to painkillers, it's much better. It's a much better use as an alternative to painkillers than using something like codeine, which is very addictive.
And it was exactly that point that prompted me to join in. Hi, by the way.
Hey, a bunch of guns and gear besides the racist presence.
I'm on my way to work. I just had to hop in on that point exactly, Night Strike, because it kind of touches my life. You know, my wife has a degenerative nerve condition, and she's in constant pain. So, you know, she doesn't take the narcotic painkillers because she had a doctor that had her taking way too many of those at one point, and which led to some bad stuff. So she got finally off of that garbage and doesn't take any. But now she's left with no recourse. You know, medical marijuana has become legal here in Ohio, and she's considered taking that as a substitute because, you know, frankly, the times that she's done it illegally to cope with the pain, it's helped tremendously, and it's also brought some relief to the nerve condition. But she can't get out of bed, let alone defend herself if I'm not home. Should she be deprived of the ability to defend herself with a firearm because she has to take something for chronic pain? I don't think so. So, you know, I hear what you're saying, Sarge, with regard to the law, and I agree. But I think the law needs to be changed to reflect.
Well, I agreed that the ones that are medically necessary shouldn't be deprived of being able to defend themselves. Well, I said that part, but then we also said that the majority of people aren't in that situation, and they make it tough on people like your wife that genuinely do need it. Because they give most of them a bad name.
Oh, I agree. I have no sympathy for the people that, a few days ago, woo-hoo, 420, dude, let's get blazed. You know, screw you.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. It's just like the drunk that spends half his time in a puddle of vomit. You know, you're contemptible. A little bit here and there, whatever. Anything in moderation, used responsibly, whatever. But those people, yeah, they can take a hike.
That's the biggest crux that I have with the whole medical marijuana argument is I think that the people who needed medical marijuana should have went off to the right and formed their group and said, allow me to use the medicine that I feel is best and my doctor feels is best. And then the people who wanted to get the government out of their lungs should stand over on the left and say, government, stay out of my lungs. Mixing the two together is why all this confusion and issues are going on with the medical marijuana and the marijuana industry in America right now, is because users jumped over onto the medical people's pile. Now, when you say you got a medical marijuana license, like Sarge said earlier, I'm a little nervous. I couldn't sleep last night. I need my medicine. That's not medicine. And once again, Budget's got somebody who could actually benefit from the medical purpose of it and be prescribed a prescribable dose of marijuana. And it's going to be harder because there's a bunch of hippies running around, getting their medicine, man.
Yeah.
I think that majority is making it tough on the ones that actually need it, and the ones that actually need it should be allowed to defend themselves. So
Right.
Absolutely right.
And think of it this way, okay? If any of you out there on the here in the panel, or out there listening, all I have to say is, guys, do you want to be in pain? Do you want to be in pain for the rest of your life if normal medicine doesn't work? I'm going to tell you right now, none of you do. You don't want to be in constant pain for the rest of your life if you have an issue that comes up. I'm telling you right now, it sucks.
I'll tell you right now that marijuana is not going to be the answer for your pain issues.
Not unless it's legal in your state.
That's another falsehood about marijuana. Marijuana does not cure your pain. That is not
It's
true.
the oil in it that cures the pain.
Well, that's once again we go back to the medical aspect of it.
Exactly.
When you go to your weed pharmacy and you get a gram of marijuana, you have no idea how much THC. Now they've got a bunch of the stuff labeled to where it's broken down in all the different cannabinoids. But this is also years into America dealing with this kind of stuff. So to think that you're going to smoke a joint and your pain's going to go away, no, it's going to help. It's going to relieve you. I'm not taking away the benefits of that whatsoever. But don't be mistaken to think that if you roll up a big fat blunt that your broken leg is going to feel better.
it has its limits, is what you're saying?
Yeah, sure. It's just like, Reefer Madness said, if you puff on weed, you're going to go crazy and jump out a window. And now Medicine Madness says if you smoke a little joint, you're going to feel great. That's just not true, and people think it is. And that's another thing that the recreational users have bastardized from the people who actually need it for relief.
I'd just like to say that Medicine Madness, that's brilliant, dude. Brilliant.
Copyright.
Copyright strike.
There you go.
Go to medicinemadness.com right now.
Real quick, Sarge, you
Get
asked
your card
when it
out.
happened that the U.S. flag was racist. A couple years ago on Cinco de Mayo, there were a couple of kids that wore American flag shirts to school.
Oh yeah.
They were sent home and suspended for racism.
We never said people were smart.
Yeah, I don't see how, man.
If you just wore stuff like that, typically, yes. I mean, and no, that wouldn't be correct. If somebody did it and we're, trying to make us versus them. What in the world? Make a us versus them, like from the Cinco de Mayo. Well, they're kind of agitating a situation that doesn't need to be agitated. Maybe they could say something, but racist, never. There's nothing wrong with having pride in your country.
Yeah, apparently the parents took the school board to court and won the case because these kids wore that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah. Just think about it. What if you normally don't wear things like that, and then, like, say on Hanukkah, you wear just all this super Christian stuff, or on something you were like the antithesis of the complete opposite of what that holiday is, you'd kind of be trying to flare something up. But if they did that all the time, no. But like I said, it's a fine line no matter what. It just depends on what they're trying to do. Are they trying to poke and try to cause a problem? But hell, if these kids wear American flag stuff every day, then they wear American stuff every day. Good for them. It's what we should do. So they shouldn't be singled out. I don't know. Didn't mean to kill the chat.
No, go. It's fine.
Oh, that's a good point because, think about the 4th of July and how many people go buy the little $5 Old Navy T-shirts and wear them, and go to Walmart and get the little $5 4th of July T-shirts. And, I guarantee those communities are flipping out, have got that stuff on for the 4th of July.
Yeah, and like Armament says, like poking the bear. Yeah, I'm saying that could be like the only way it could be a problem if somebody was doing it just to poke the bear.
Yeah, and if you look at
probably not the case.
Yeah, if you look at the pro illegal parade marches and stuff, they'll have signs that saying that the American flag is a symbol of racism and all this other stuff.
God, no, it's not.
Yeah,
that's some people have a misinformed opinion. It may be, but to the majority, that's not what it's about. Not what it's ever been about.
I don't mean to go all Captain America, but I think the American flag is probably the most beautiful flag on the planet.
No, go. You need to go all Captain America. You have to.
Yeah, that's what my intent was, but I don't want to be. Well, you're an American. That's why you say that. No, I have eyes. That's why I say that. Sorry, Patriot. Well, and to be fair, Patriot does have eyes. They just don't work.
It's not his fault.
He doubles down at the end.
Well, if you listen to Patriot tell it is his fault.
He actually does say it's his fault.
Well, it is and it isn't his fault. Okay, I'm giving the man the benefit of that. All right.
Well, he'll tell you it's his fault.
I
tell you it's his own fault because he didn't do what he was supposed to.
Yeah, he says he didn't take his doctor seriously, like monitor his blood sugar and everything, but still, it's very unfortunate. My gosh!
And on that note,
I hadn't realized.
Get him!
So,
Yeah, that reminds me. Did any of you guys see Gun Drama Johnny's video today?
Is he doing his drama videos now? Or what?
Yeah, he had a clip where when he was talking about Paul Harrell with the middle finger, where this guy kept giving the middle finger to his dog, and every time he did, the dog would growl and bark at him. The Sergeant's dogs just reminded me of that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not throwing shade or anything, but that first episode was not nearly the quality of last season.
No. But hey, Drama Llama's back, so that's
yeah. I hope he gets back in the groove, and picks it up a notch.
Patriot in the Dark's here, so don't talk about him.
He heard us.
Yeah, I did. I heard Sarge and his little mustache flipping around. So,
oh God.
Well then,
oui, monsieur.
Static electricity or something. Get that guy a Downy sheet.
There you go.
So, what's up, fellas?
You missed all the fun. We're almost done.
No, I heard it. I was listening.
So, Patriot, are you going to be adding any new firearms to your collection anytime soon? You got your eyes on anything? Anything look good? Sound good?
I'm, yeah. I said at the beginning of the year that by the end of the year I was going to make an AK. Ooh. And I don't know how that's actually coming. That is still a plan.
So are you like, have you moved in with AWAG then to get help on that, or
no?
You said make an AK as in rivets.
That was the original plan.
Okay,
but we'll see. I do have a daughter, and she has ideas of what I should spend my money on as well. So, we'll see where it all comes. But
that's what children are for.
Eventually,
is this about the wedding? It's about the wedding, isn't it? Just tell her to go to Vegas.
She's 11, so no.
Oh, well, no. I'm sorry. I had no idea. I didn't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, ponies are expensive. So what are you going to do?
Are you familiar enough with the AK to make one, or are you in the process of learning about the AK so you can make one?
It would definitely be learning. I have shot one once before, but that was 20 years ago. So I'm sure they haven't changed that much, but it would definitely be a learning curve a little bit. But that's kind of the fun of it. So,
Right on.
but yeah, other
Awesome.
than that, I don't know. Maybe I kept asking everybody, what I should get next, but
Do you have an
nobody
AR
came
pistol?
up with you. No. And I've been listening to a lot of people about them. I don't know.
How about
really
maybe
decided.
stepping up and going like a 300 blackout pistol with a suppressor?
Probably the suppressor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to take things apart, and an AR is kind of simple.
Yeah.
I need something with a lot more parts. But I don't know. So I'm open for suggestions. If anybody has suggestions, you can email me at patriotinthedark@gmail.com.
You want someone with a lot of parts, and AR actually has more parts than an AK. At least the ones that you can take back apart again, like easily.
Yeah.
True, but it's going to
But
be
that's
kind
easy.
of.
That's
It's
yeah. You can't take the AK apart. I mean, that would be
Well,
kind of
you
difficult.
could if you have the right tools. That's why I said easily take apart.
Yeah.
AK's not the easiest thing to take back apart again.
so. Uh-oh.
So I missed the medical madness chat. And what else did I miss?
We talked about kids getting booted out of school
Oh,
for showing
yes.
non-threatening photos of themselves with guns, using guns in legal manners.
Make sure you
Not gonna
don't
raise
miss make sure you don't miss my cease and desist letter in your mailbox for the medical madness.
Okay, I will not speak of that again. I will mention, the whole flag thing and the Cinco de Mayo. That obviously isn't racist because America is not a race. I don't prefer wearing flags on my clothing either, but you can still be patriotic.
In your defense,
No,
you
as
don't
far
know
as
if
those
you're wearing
kids
flags on your clothing or not.
Yes, I do.
Do you?
You gotta be smarter than the.
His daughter helps him pick out his clothes, so who knows?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wear a lot of My Little Pony, and but see, I'm man enough to wear My Little Pony, so.
Well, yeah, do what
It's
you
no
gotta do,
problem.
man. You're judging.
Dude, my little brony. I'm a brony, man.
We
This
don't
show's
judge
hilarious,
here.
man. This show's hilarious.
We don't judge here.
Is it My Little Pet Shop and something like that?
Littlest Pet Shop. My youngest
Littlest
Pet
Pony.
Shop. It's Littlest Pet Shop.
Littlest
know.
Pet Shop.
Yeah, they're like little bobbleheads.
Yeah, you step on them, vacuum cleaner.
Oh God.
Yeah,
So
my
I
daughter's
got
past that.
I got kicked out of my own chat, so I had to jump back in. We're still live, thank God.
At least you were able to jump back in.
Yeah, I know, right? So why don't we? It's about 9:51. We've been going for an hour, so why don't we wrap it up and let everyone say their piece, and let's get the hell out of here. So, Mr. Gizzard Gary, or shall I say, Mr. F.U. Paul Harrell?
Gizzard Harrell.
Gizzard Harrell. Why don't you go first? Give us your outro. Unmute yourself, buddy.
Oh, I should unmute myself. Yeah, you can hear me better if I unmute myself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for the invite. Check out my website, gizzardgary.com. Also, check out Foul Territory, Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Early Bird Chat, Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. At least one more Wanamaker video coming out this week. So check those out and give them the bird.
All right. All right, David. Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. Looking for the mute button. Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And as a kind gesture to everybody in the world, I'm going to make Medical Madness free to the world.
Awesome.
So I'm dropping my copyright claim on that.
All right, I can't wait.
Thanks for having me, man. Good show.
No problem. Thank you for showing up. All right, Budget, give us your outro.
Hey, thanks for the invite. Even though I did pop in late, I was kind of getting ready to go to work, and then turned you on when I was on my way here. So I heard the conversation, decided to pop in. Thanks again for the invite. You guys could, I think everybody listening probably knows where I am. Here on YouTube, it's Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. Same on GunTube, GunStreamer, YouTube, pretty much everywhere. On Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, it's Budget Guns and Gear. I just started a new Facebook group, Budget Buddies, Friends of Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. So if you guys want to go check that out. I will be at the NRA annual meeting this weekend, so if any of you are there and you see me, come up and say hi. I'd love to meet you. I'm planning to do the Right of the People on Friday at 7. I'm not necessarily going to talk so much about the political current events as I am kind of the NRA meeting and whatnot. Hopefully I'll get some footage and interviews with protesters and whatnot. I'm going to try to hunt some of those down Friday, and maybe we'll talk about them. So
if you want to rant, I'll show up. Same. But thanks for jumping in. Thanks for participating. All right, Sarge.
Oh. Hey, I'm going to do the, thank you for the invite. I'm going to do the 2A Spring Challenge tomorrow, as well as the Budget Guns and Gears Challenge.
Awesome.
Guns and Gear. I'm going to print that one off. I'll make one. It's 1-inch circles, right?
It's
yes, 1-inch circles, 5 rounds per circle.
Yep. I'm going to do it. I'll do it tomorrow, and I'll post them on Instagram and on the YouTubes. Other than that, I have a show coming up Thursday at 9 p.m. C4 Defense, YouTube.
All right.
Thanks
Everyone
for the
check
invite.
that out. All right. Who we have next? Travis. You're next.
Yeah, man. Warsaw Patriots here.
Well, we'll get to him.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, guys, check out my channel, Travis P11 on YouTube. You can also follow Caliber Corner over on gunchannels.com. That's a little podcast we do Thursday nights from 5 to 7 Central, 6 to 8 East Coast time. And I'm going to be featuring Dog Body, aka Muscle Dog Mafia. We're going to have a little canine corner chat. We're going to talk about dogs and their many different uses and being a new dog owner and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, that's it, man. Appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Thank you for showing up.
Yep.
All right. Warsaw.
What's up? Sorry I'm late. I appreciate the invite. What's going on for me? I'm just going to be working on some new wood projects coming up. I've been so busy with work recently, guys. I hardly do any more videos right now. So
That's okay.
don't expect
Don't
another
worry
video
about
here or there, right?
I have a problem with it too, so don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, appreciate the invite.
No problem. Anytime, buddy. Anytime. All right. And Patron in the Dark, you want to give us your intro? Your outro?
Did you see how I did that? I snuck in almost at the end, and I took over Travis's spot. I cannot believe it. Is this how that feels?
Yeah, that's how that feels.
Oh man, I gotta take this in for a second.
Well,
No,
don't take too long,
I've
otherwise
done-
we'll end it.
Yeah, I've done a couple of new videos. I did do a response to Adam's second amendment challenge. I might have to modify it a third or fourth time. It gets kind of long-winded, of course. And I've done a couple new videos for the visually impaired followers of mine. And so I'm going to put that out, and hopefully you guys can pick up some understanding, at least. I did a money video that I'm going to be releasing here probably tomorrow. Just how a blind guy deals with cash. So thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Patriot in the Dark, your token blind guy.
You're not token. You're just as important as the rest of us. Don't let anybody tell you any different.
Yeah, we don't know if he tokes or not.
No. I've been smoke free from cigarettes for about 5 to 6 years now. So that's how I can afford all these toys.
Oh, heck yeah.
So thank you.
All right, no problem. Guys, just check out nightstrike.com. I still have stickers for sale if you want some stickers. Check out gumtube.org. And with that, we'll see you maybe on Friday for the Friday Night Strike if you're around. If not, we'll see you next week. So thank you all for listening. This was Hit or Miss.
Give him the bird.
Adios,
Be on the
Felicia.
range.
Ti amo, Felicia. Ti amo. Mi amor.
Shall not be infringed.
Ooh. Bye, Felicia.
No compromise.
With authority.
Bye,
I
Felicia.
ain't got no tagline.
Rich, get your tagline in.
What?
Do your outro.
After the dark.
Oh, yeah, I never got one. Oh well.
Turn to the dark side.
We have cookies.
I'm pressing the button.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here.
Button.